Hey,
What's up?
what's up, buddy? How's it going?
Yeah, hopefully I'll stay connected this time.
Yeah, hopefully.
I should have a stronger connection now. Let me
Seems
know
like
if
it's working so far.
any hiccups or anything.
I was expecting for some reason I expecting like a longer intro. I forgot.
It's all
Oh,
good.
delicious, delicious. Feels like it's been a freaking eternity since we've done the like. It's only been like a week, 2 weeks now. It was a week and a half.
It's been at least a week. Yeah, and time's gone by even faster than usual, it seems like.
We didn't do. So we did like one the week before last, but it was like cut short. That's right.
It's got its
Because of
technical
lag.
difficulties.
Lag.
Finally had to get my old router out, connected to the modem in the other room. It said that was stronger antenna, so hopefully so far so good.
Seems pretty solid, man. Seems pretty good so far.
Better be. I'm gonna cry.
Right. It's all good. Hey, fucking so I was watching, I had no idea what was actually going on because I don't subscribe to the news. I don't watch the stuff. But I did watch a little short video before this talking about what's going on in Israel and between Hamas and the Israel army or whatever it is. It's pretty wild, man. Although it seems kind of like what's been going on there forever. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, of course, now it seems like it's more extreme that they actually got tons of missiles actually fired on them this time. Now the question is it fulfilling prophecy?
I mean, everybody has jumped onto the bandwagon with this one and saying that it is. So, I mean, every Bible person, I pulled up a lot of the different passages that talk about end times, and you can really fit just about anything into that. You know, it's hard to say whether it's true, whether it's not, but at the end of the day, this is probably, I mean, strong possibility. People are talking this is going to kick off World War III, and that, I mean, that's going to be, I mean, end of the world type stuff right there, honestly, because chances are we're going to end up using nuclear weapons, and that will be the end.
Well, here's the interesting part: the terrorist organization. Who was it? I forgot what they called that place. The name
Hamas.
of that Hamas, right? They're actually out of Iran, and our president just recently sent them $6 billion.
That's what I
So
heard.
Are we funding this war?
I think it would be naive at this point to think that we do not have a hand in all of this because that's kind of the way it seems to be. You know, we're got all this money to fund stuff going on in Ukraine, all this money to fund stuff going on in Israel, and yet, you know, we can't fund healthcare here or stuff like that. People are still not able to get healthcare.
Oh man, don't even start on that. It's like all these people crossing the border are giving housing, they're giving free Medicare, they're giving an allowance per month more than we make pretty much on average. They're basically being taken care of just by coming over legally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a pretty tough one, man. Because like you could, for instance, I could get basically quit my job right now and get state benefits for my kids and all that. I get $1,200 a month in food. We get, you know what I mean? Like sometimes there's no incentive for people to work out here, but it's outside the scope here. I don't want to get people hating on us.
Right?
I don't have
So
any opinion on the matter.
so getting back to these end time things, I mean with all the crazy weather, severe storms, flooding, volcanoes, earthquakes, it's recently had one up there in your area today, I think actually.
But
And then the threat of war. Yeah, I think there's like a 4 pointer up in your area. I think it was today or yesterday.
well, man, I didn't hear about it, but I didn't feel it, so hopefully nothing bad, or at least it wasn't near me. But I don't know, man. I think that the chances, again, I agree this is gonna probably the world's gonna end in our lifetime here.
Agreed.
I've been reading a lot of different.
How close are we?
How close? I mean,
you got your date. Was it 2030?
2030. Yeah, that's when there's like when these are predicting like this freaking solar event that it causes like the next ice age, if you will, is what I was reading about. But that's hard to say. I think there's all kinds of evidence that in the past, nuclear weapons have been used and have essentially wiped out existence. That could explain the sudden disappearances, the sudden, just no explanation for certain civilizations, how they just vanished off the face of the earth. But if you look at like the Bhagavad Gita and the Sumerian tablets, they talk about literally they describe nuclear warfare. Sodom and Gomorrah described nuclear warfare. So like we get to a point where we get so, so warlike and so bent on hell, destroying each other that we end up using these weapons on ourselves, and bam, we just wiped ourselves out. And there's a strong possibility that that's going to happen. You know what I mean? That's unfortunate. Yeah. Like I was just reading, or somebody was talking about an interview that Iran is like 3 weeks away from having a nuclear weapon. Like, and we have basically funded that. Like what?
All it takes is the first person to launch, and everybody else is going to do the same thing.
Dude, that's what it'll have to be, because I mean it's mutually assured destruction. Like that's been a thing for a long time. That's why there's been nuclear arms deals where a ceasefire, like none of that shit's gonna happen, because it's wrong, man. That stuff shouldn't exist. And we've seen what it did to one push of the wrong button by somebody who is hell bent on destruction. You know what I mean? And like that's unfortunate that we have people in control in the world that are squabbling over nonsense. Like, I'm not going to take sides in any of this war stuff, because I think all war is wrong. You know what I mean? Like a little bit I read today, I think that both sides are in a fucked up position. And I think that they've been fighting over this stupid ass plot of land for way too long, and they just need to let it go. Like, need to, hey, God gave it to both of us. Let's divide this up right. Like this is all over religious stuff, and it's driven me nuts forever. Like the amount that people have killed each other over religion is silly.
That'll keep on happening as far as the powers that be want
it. Yeah, because war is money. Like that's what people don't understand. That the people who are funding war obviously want war. Well, we died there.
Yeah.
Well, you came back. It was doing really good for a minute. We got like throttled, YouTube throttled.
I don't know what's going on. I get full bars and it drops and it goes back up. Now it's dropping again. I don't know what's wrong with this connection here.
Is it like DSL or something?
Well, I was getting over almost 200 megabits per second when I did a speed test earlier. I mean, I'm getting speed, but it's not consistent.
My it should be more than that.
Desktop
probably getting throttled.
Yeah, my desktop's not meant to be on Wi-Fi, but that's my only option.
Gotcha. Happens, man. Like, not a big deal. We'll just work with it. Work with it, sir. Work with it. We could shorten down the time of the video so that way we're not freaking dragging it out forever. But what we're doing is having fun while we're doing it, sir. Having fun while we're doing it.
Not supposed to be stressing me out.
Yeah. You're all good, man. So I did pull up a bunch of, let's see, I was looking at. So there's a a thing from the book of Daniel that struck me. It was like talking about is Daniel 12 verses 1-3. He's like, at the time, Michael, the great prince who protects your people, will rise. There will be a time of distress that has not yet happened, and from the beginning of nations until then. But at that time, your people, everyone's name who was found in the book, will be delivered. Multitudes will sleep, and the dust of earth will awake, some to everlasting life. Those who are wise will shine brightness like the heavens. I think he's talking about waking the dead. This is not the verse I was talking about, or thinking I was, but give me just a second. The book of Daniel is interesting, man. It makes me want to really read the whole thing. But this is what, when I cross into this realm, it's like, how much of this am I taking to heart? You know what I mean? How much of this should, like you were talking about the other day, should be taken literal, and how much should be taken, philosophically. But a lot of people, when they think about end times, they are quoting like the book of Daniel.
In Revelations.
Yeah, book of Revelations too. So the last book of the New Testament is often cited when discussing end times. It contains vivid and symbolic imagery of apocalyptic events, including the rise of a global leader, the Antichrist, and the four horsemen of the apocalypse. So what does it say? In the New Testament, Matthew 24 is a chapter in which Jesus discusses the signs of the end times. He mentions wars, famines, earthquakes, false prophets, and signs as all signs of the end being near. I don't know, man. I mean, earthquakes, famines, wars, false prophets. I mean, that's
happening now, right?
It's a pretty common thing. What are they, the idea of a false prophet? Like, what is a false prophet? You know what I mean? Like, to me, I think people often would associate that with religion, but it could be anything, dude. False prophets could be, leaders who are getting you to believe something, but is a freaking lie. So, like, a false prophet could be somebody who's lying to you about history. They're lying to you about all kinds of crap. But obviously, people are going to be like, no, it's a false god stuff. But
we call it the second coming of Christ or whatever. Could be a false prophet. And I mean, how would you even know what's real and what's not?
It's hard to say. Honestly, the more I think about it, the more I get stuck on the simulation theory. You know what I mean? But it's really, really hard to say. Shit, honestly, man, I've been messed up. I've been struggling to even like exist. You know what I mean? Like, I tried to make a video this morning. It seemed like forced because I'm like mentally, like, when I swear to God, man, when I'm off for a few days at work, I sink into a pit that I can't even explain. It's like I can only exist when I go to work every day. Like, and even then,
that's your routine. That's what you're used to. 40 hours a week. You spend more time at work than you do at home.
Oh, that's a sad fact, dude.
And it shouldn't be that way.
It's a sad fact. I don't know. Thinking about these end time crap, it messes with my head. That's why I've literally chosen to avoid it, because I was obsessed with this subject a couple of years ago, and I read everything that I could possibly digest, and there's really no way to predict it. You have, when people are pulling out these scriptures or pulling out these different studies, like it does have some matching things, right? It'll have some matching things, but oftentimes people are twisting this stuff to fit their narrative. Just like I love David Wilcock, right? But he started getting to a point where like some of his stuff, I'm like, bro, you kind of just twisted that to fit what you're trying to tell. And I like it. Some of the stuff I like, and then I started to realize that some of the stuff I'm like, okay, man, I can't follow this because it's ringing BS bells, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
like that could be the idea of like being a false prophet, is like essentially making shit up. But
yeah,
I don't know. A lot of the stuff he was doing with during the election or whatever. That's why, dude, he fell off the face of the earth, dude. He was making all these predictions about stuff, and then he fell off the earth, and then all of a sudden surfaced like what, a year later, and said he'd been working on a book, and now he works for like a defense contractor. Like, that doesn't even make any sense.
Makes you wonder. Is he one of the good guys or one of the bad guys?
Dude, he's working for a defense contractor that's making weapons. He's like the director of advanced technology. Like, how could you work for some place that's making weapons? You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense. Like that alone has like made me like not really want to follow the dude. And not necessarily a follower, but I have read all his stuff multiple times. I mean,
could be one of those wolves in the sheep's clothing. That's what you want to hear.
It could be, but I mean, a lot of the stuff that he was telling in his earlier stuff, it's almost like he's a different person. You know what I mean? It's funny how he disappeared and came back, and now he's working. You know, almost like he's a different person.
What if he is?
He could be, dude. Like, let's be completely honest. Like that does happen. I'm sure it happens. Like, you think people don't speak out and then get returned as clones. You know what I mean?
Could be a clone. Could be, who knows, a reptilian shape-shifting into him.
They've admitted that they have that ability to clone people, dude. It's apparently against, you know, what is it, like a certain type of code. It's like, whoa, what are we?
Is it your birthday?
What the hell happened, dude?
I don't know.
Did you do the balloons?
That's creepy. No. I didn't know you could do that.
I didn't do the balloons.
All right.
What's going on?
All right, there? Mr. David. Well, sorry. We're going to oblige. Don't hurt us.
That just tripped me out, dude.
Yeah, I was wondering, did you do that?
No, I didn't. My hand's not even anywhere near the computer. Perhaps it's a gesture. Is my
wow.
It's my freaking Mac.
Can I do that too?
That's weird that it works on this. So it's actually my Mac. It's software built into the MacBook. Weird, dude. I don't know how I did the birthday thing, but
do an alien face. See if an alien appears. That's an Illuminati.
Illuminati symbol.
Cover up one of your eyes. That's it. That was interesting about the end times. Now, for you, on your point of view, does it scare you or does it excite you?
I don't know. So, in part, I think it does excite me, but at the other time, you know, I do also have kids, so it's like I don't want to be in a position, you know, where something bad happens to like my family. You know what I mean? So that part scares me. However, the world coming to an end and everybody dying doesn't necessarily scare me because I know that death doesn't really exist. Mm. So as morbid as that is to say, and everybody will be like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. I don't believe in death. I think that we put on another body. And whatever we're doing, we're going to end up doing again. Or we're going to move on to the next phase of existence, whatever it is.
I think most of us are just so tired of this existence. We're welcoming, just let it be over, let it be done so we can move on. You know? That's all I am.
I think it's coming, man. I don't know. I've been noticing that, like, you know, more and more people have been waking up at an unprecedented rate. And I think that as we reach a critical mass, you know, that's when this whole idea of war is coming in, right? Because once the people start to collectively wake up and we're like, hey, we don't need the governments killing each other. We don't need any of this, you know, like we need to love each other. Then bam, all of a sudden we're going to get wiped out, start over. And then they're going to develop, you know, a new civilization, and they're going to have their rules, their laws. You know what I mean? I don't think that a one world government can happen until we wipe out what we already have. You know what I mean? Like that's going to be the only way that that's actually going to happen. You think everybody's going to unite under one person, one government? You know what I mean? I don't think so.
I just think, who would have that kind of power to be the ruler of the world? How that would go through a head?
I think that the same people have probably been running the world since humans came to be. Like, I think it's honestly been probably the Anunnaki the whole time, the entire time, our entire history. I think all of our history references them in some way, you know, Satan, the devil, whatever you want to call it. But whatever it is has been controlling humanity since the beginning.
Yep. And no reason for him to stop now.
In the Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean or whatever, so he talks about he actually does a prophecy in there that says, you know, when humans start to fly in planes and start to war, there will be a massive war, and it'll be like that'll be the restart, and then they'll come back. Something I can't remember, dude. I'm butchering this right now, but there's also one in the Book of Enoch. Damn it! It talks about in a time far away. Oh man, I'm just gonna have to pull it up. You have to give me a minute because this is a good one. Where's my Book of Enoch? Oh no! How's everybody doing today? Well, just I gotta pull up this quote here.
Pretty quiet here today.
How the hell am I gonna have to relog into this app? Unbelievable.
Well, while you're doing that, I just want to talk about this whole, what they call the ascension of the Earth. That basically the Earth's going to split off into a higher vibrational state.
Mm-hmm.
And those who are ready will go with the Earth, and those who aren't will be stuck on the old Earth. Now, is that what we would call or consider hell?
I mean, I think that I don't know if it would be considered hell. So I think that like those who are ready would go into like the fourth dimension or whatever, because Earth is going to become a fourth dimension planet, and I think that you would basically just end up repeating the third dimension, which you could consider hell. I mean, in reality, you could consider this dimension hell. You know what I mean? But
The
I like
Earth.
to think. You still there?
Yeah.
Oh god.
That disappeared for a minute?
No, I was just looking and I was silent, but I can't find it. I have to actually go get my entire book.
You just gave us a summary or what you can't remember.
It basically talks about in a time far off, like there's going to be, it talks about a war, just like it says in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean or whatever. It talks about a time when humans start to fly on wings of air and create like war machines of war or something like that. Oh god, I was not prepared for that one.
But we've had for a while now.
Yeah, we've had those for a while. I mean, it could be when I was reading it, like it could have been easily describing World War II. You know what I mean? Like, hell, the world could have ended in World War II, but
Never know.
Beth, thank you for joining us, Beth. It's butchering, man. It's killing me. It's killing me not knowing this quote. It's gonna drive me mad.
I'm just being distracted by this little Wi-Fi indicator that's going up and down constantly on my side over here. Yours is constantly full. Mine's just going back and forth. It's annoying.
Right. I don't know. I think when I have read it, it's basically talking about a time when they're going to come back. So the Book of Enoch, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, they're all talking about how the Anunnaki control the world. And for those that don't know who that is, that's like the progenitors of mankind, or the Sumerian deities. But if you really get into the creation stories, it starts to make a whole lot of sense. Of course, you know,
Oh yeah,
just know the story, but I don't know. I'm kind of scared. Like everybody's been blowing me up. They're like, "Are you worried about freaking worried about the war? You're worried about World War III? I said, no, man. I still got to go to work tomorrow. I mean, if I don't have to go to work tomorrow, then man, I'll be all sorts of interested in what's going on. But
well, that's the thing. People are so blind and conceited. There could be a World War III, and people would just travel like normal, which they'd be just as busy at the airports as any other day.
Mm-hmm.
We're busier now than we're in the summertime.
Right. We've been insane, man. Insanely busy. But I don't know. Let me read some more stuff. Have you heard of the four horsemen of the apocalypse?
Death.
You haven't?
Yeah. What was it? No, war is one of them.
So the four horsemen of the apocalypse are symbolic figures mentioned in the book of Revelation, specifically Revelation 6, 1 through 8. They represent various aspects of divine judgment and are associated with apocalyptic events. The four horsemen and the symbolic meanings are as follows. The four horsemen, the white horse. This rider is often interpreted as a symbol of conquest or a conqueror. He holds a bow and is given a crown signifying authority. Some interpretations suggest that this horseman represents a false messiah or a period of false peace. That's interesting.
Mm.
So the second horseman is the red horse. This rider carries a great sword and symbolizes war and conflict. His appearance represents violence and strife. I mean, that's something that's going on right now. The third horseman is the black horse. This third rider carries a pair of scales symbolizing famine and economic hardship. This horseman represents scarcity and economic distress. It's very interesting, man. Economic distress. So the fourth horseman is the pale horse. This rider is often referred to as death. He is followed by Hades, the realm of the dead. The pale horse represents death and pestilence, which may be caused by war, famine, and other apocalyptic events.
So, are they out there right now?
They could be, man. I mean, is this symbolic? Is this like happening in a different frequency than this one, but influencing this reality? You know what I mean? I don't know.
What's interesting in Supernatural, one of my favorite shows, there's a lot of truth in there. They actually had to face the four horsemen.
Really?
But they were martyrized, like the one that rides the red horse driving the red Mustang. Same concepts.
I still haven't watched it, man. I need to watch it.
Yeah, you do. There's a lot of truth in that show.
Trying to find this.
Just be warned, there's 15 seasons of it.
15 seasons? Oh my God.
And they're talking about bringing that back.
Interesting. Like, they're bringing it back for a new season?
There's talks about it. I don't know if it's confirmed yet or not. I'll keep watching it. I've been watching it since it piloted.
I did look up some end-time prophecies earlier. So end-time prophecies are a common theme in various religions and mythological traditions. Here are some notable ones. So Christianity, the second coming of Christ. Christians believe in the return of Jesus as the central end-times prophecy. It is associated with the final judgment, resurrection of the dead, and the establishment of God's eternal kingdom. Why does it always say resurrection of the dead? Like, why are we resurrecting the dead when Jesus comes back? Like, what dead are we resurrecting? Like, why? Are we doing zombies? Like, is that what's going on? Like,
that's what I don't get either. It's like when you die. When I was a kid, I was taught when you die, you go into like a sleep. And you don't wake up until Judgment Day. I'm guessing that's what they could be talking about. But then you have people that are, in the spirit world and all that are still existing. So I don't know what to make of that.
That's hard to say, man. Like, I think, probably the devout belief would be that you go, I guess, sleep until Judgment Day. But even then, like, perhaps you go to purgatory. I don't know how I accept that or if I accept that. But they got another one from Islam, the Day of Judgment. In Islam, there's a belief that the Day of Judgment, when all individuals would be resurrected and held accountable for their actions. Resurrected again. Another one. What the hell, man?
I hate my life.
Oh, do you die?
Yep.
Jesus.
So,
it's like Judaism is another one I came up with. Some Jewish traditions anticipate the arrival of the Messiah, who will bring about a time of peace and the rebuilding of the temple in Jerusalem, often considered an end times prophecy. You remember when what was it? Who was it that was trying to rebuild the Jerusalem temple? Wasn't it Donald Trump or something like that? I think that's why everybody freaking like loves this dude, like he's some kind of messiah, man. But
false prophet.
I don't know, bro. Yeah, I mean, look, sir. I'm not gonna go there, okay? But we got another one, Hinduism. So the Kalki avatars prophesies to be the 10th and final incarnation of Lord Vishnu, who will appear to restore the future in the future to restore righteousness and the end of the current age of moral and spiritual decline. You can't doubt that. You know what I mean? There definitely is moral and spiritual decline. It's obvious to anybody who paid attention. So apparently how do you pronounce this? So Buddhism, Maitreya Buddha, Maitreya.
Not sure.
Some Buddhists await the coming of the Maitreya, a future Buddha who will teach the Dharma and usher in a new era of enlightenment. Yeah, I don't know.
I have heard there have been different Buddhas before. You had the present one, and then there'll be future Buddhas beyond.
I found this one interesting. So Norse mythology, Ragnarok. In Norse mythology, Ragnarok is a series of events that include a great battle, natural disasters, and the ultimate destruction of the gods and the world. Afterward, a new world would be born. That seems pretty logical, actually. Ultimate destruction of the gods. So, I mean, it'd be interesting to think if we go to a full-scale war, will we actually, as a society, will these beings that are guiding the world, will they stop us from destroying ourselves, with nuclear weapons?
Supposedly, extraterrestrials have already been disarming nuclear missiles and stuff.
That is what is said, that is like as soon as we started doing nuclear tests, like we started having like a huge uptick in these landings. And again, a lot of the people in that community say it's because they don't want us to destroy ourselves. And again, the evidence is all sorts of there that we've done this in the past, like Sodom and Gomorrah. That's apparently so. Sodom and Gomorrah in the Bible, the way it's described, it's definitely a nuclear weapon, right? So if you read the Sumerian versions of it, when they destroyed those two cities, it's a whole different story. But they were at war with each other and used these weapons. They called them the weapons of terror or something like that. But anyway, they ended up using them on each other and destroying basically everything they had built. And the cloud from the weapons was so strong that it wiped out everybody in its path. And they actually had to flee the planet. And that's why they left us to be, by our lonesome, if you will, but by our lonesome, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Seems really interesting, man. I think it's full circle. I think that's what's probably eventually going to happen.
Yeah. If they don't stop us, we'll destroy ourselves.
Bro, I live right by a military base, dude. Maybe 20 minutes from here. They nuke that. That's it for me. I'm going to be dead, man.
I'm right next door to Fort Gordon here in Georgia.
Yeah, see, we're just too close to the base. And you're on the coast, so you're screwed too.
I'm pretty far in as far as tsunamis go, but yeah.
I'm just saying, like, close enough for, the warships and crap. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. And they're probably out there.
Mm-hmm.
Just outside of the international.
Man. Famines, New Testament is when Jesus discusses the end times. He mentions wars, famines, earthquakes, false prophets, and the sign that the end is near, as a sign that the end is near. So famines, earthquakes, and false prophets. What do you define as a false prophet? What? Let's ask the AI.
Kind of a broad term, yeah.
False prophet is typically defined as an individual who claims to be a prophet, a religious leader, or a spiritual guide, but their teachings, predictions, or messages are deceptive, misleading, or contrary to established religions and moral principles. Characteristics of a false prophet is deceptive teachings, false predictions, exploitive behavior, destructive practices, lack of moral integrity. So, like, one of those guys that do like the Jonestown thing, not Jonestown, but the guy that made everybody drink the Kool-Aid. Is that Jonestown?
I know what you mean, though. Yeah.
That guy would be like a false prophet.
Was it Waco, Texas? Yeah.
Well, the Waco, Texas is when the ATF decided they were going to wipe all those people out. I think the Jonestown massacre is the when. I feel like that's the one where the people were drinking the Kool-Aid, but. I have not, so we're almost there.
I hope so. I'm tired. The human experience is not an easy one.
No, it's not, man. This whole existence is, it's difficult, man, and it's like what you were saying when you were reading the Dolores Cannon stuff. What is it? Hell or Earth is a what do they call it? A school, a training ground.
It's one of the hardest schools, if not the hardest school out there. It's so far from the source that we can barely get the light.
Yeah, the only way to do it, so like when the Law of One, they stress heavily on the chakra system. If you don't cleanse the chakra system of your body, like you can't get the inpourings from the universe or God, whatever. I've been trying to do that and trying to focus on it is stupid little things like the way you interact with people, the way you interact in your relationship, the way you interact with people. It's a ridiculous stream of things that actually makes a lot of sense when you read into it, but I don't know.
It's like I try to be a good person, but I'm so burned out that it's sometimes the negativity, I can't stop it from coming out.
It happens, man. It happens to the best of us, honestly. It's hard to really say how to fix that. You know what I mean? I try my dangest to do it every day. I try my dangest to be positive. There's definitely days where it's difficult, man. It's one of the reasons why I try not to focus on this particular subject, because then I get into the what's the point game. It's like, oh, what the hell is the point if we're all going to die anyway? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like thinking that we're going to die in 2030 is a big rough one, because I'm like, oh, I got 7 years to live. Like, what the hell am I doing? If I have 7 years to live, why, am I caring about
guaranteed? It's not guaranteed to happen.
It's not, nothing is a guarantee, dude. Like, everybody thought the world was going to end in 2012. Like,
my sister was like, we should pack up and head to the mountains. I'm like, I can't. I gotta work until the world stops whirling. I'm still gotta stick by the rules,
You just gotta you do have to let it out sometime. You're right, 100%. Without a doubt. Good job. It's true. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like, a lot of people, they look at me and they're like, oh, you post all these inspirational things, so it must mean you're never messed up. And that's not true at all. Like, most of the time when I'm posting the videos, it's for me. Like, I'm saying these messages to myself, and that gives me strength. And then other people will comment or message me like, oh, it really helped me out. And it's like, that empowers me to freaking try to keep doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
or
definitely.
Get on here. I didn't want to get on here and talk today because I'm feeling all anxietied out, but so I'm all fidgety.
I'm exhausted. I don't know why.
I know why. I'll be getting up at 1:30 in the morning to go to work. That's why I'm exhausted.
Should not me, but still. Tomorrow's on Monday, and I'm already dreading going into the place.
It's a soul sucking place, man. Working with the public, it just is, because if you look at the world as an energy exchange, you know that we're walking energy fields, and when you're dealing with so many different types of energy at once, like, dude, it's draining, especially for empaths. Like, no doubt,
especially for empaths.
It is what it is.
Like, I even wear my protection every day, and I'm still exhausted.
What is your background, man? Is that a spaceship, dude?
More or less.
This guy.
This is
shared with that
aliens.
ridiculous movie. Like, that fucking trailer scared the Jesus out of me.
It was
not even the trailer,
movie.
but like the end clip, I'm like, man, that is messed up. Like,
it's a good movie, though.
No, sir. You must have had a heart attack watching that. Can't be watching aliens.
You got a bias against grays, though.
Because of stuff like that. Like, dude, that's...
Well, that's the interesting point, though. All these movies portray aliens as these evil, sadistic beings, and they even talk about that. And what's the guy's name? Dr. Stephen Greer talks about it's intentional. So when they do arrive, people are going to be terrified of them because they think they're here to destroy us, when that's not what they're here for.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people that say it's propaganda, you know what I mean? So that way, yeah, you're right. So we are afraid. However, that is not, there's the yin and the yang. So obviously there's going to be positive entities and there's going to be these negative ones. And I think we literally are depicting the negatives, but they only ever show the negative ones. That's the problem. They're not showing these advanced angelic beings, you know what I mean? They would describe them or depict them as angels. They're only not real.
The only movie that comes close to that is Contact.
Right. I'm with you that it's movies and not real. However, like, I actually believe that they're real. So that's why, like, I can't watch these movies because they terrify me. Like the movie Signs, people think I'm silly for that, but that movie scared the holy crap out of me, dude.
It was scary.
It's because, like, when I was a kid, I had an experience that I can't explain. I was either a super vivid dream or it actually happened. And it's something I remember to this day, being chased through a freaking spaceship by a gray extraterrestrial, just like the one in that movie you showed me today. Like, absolutely terrifying. And it was feelings of terror and dread. It wasn't nothing positive, you know what I mean?
I mean, if you're a kid in a spaceship, of course you'd be terrified. You don't know what's going on. Because as an adult in a spaceship, you're going to be terrified. So you don't know the intent.
Right. I think, dude, it's at this point in time, it's hard to, like, because I believed it for so long, but like now when they release all this stuff, like UFOs are real, it's like, holy crap, man. I do believe, but at the same time, I'm a skeptic. You know what I mean? So, like, it's weird that I'm now, oh yeah, now I can believe it because they're releasing all this stuff. Why are they telling us this now? You know what I mean? But it's hard to say. So I think Dr. Greer was saying that they're getting ready for like a mass disclosure, but
maybe. But like I said, at work, you have the same access I do. When you see a pilot, just ask them. And most of the time when I ask them, they say they've seen some stuff there they can't explain.
Dude, I believe it, man. Like, I mean, shit. Like, I've seen enough of these videos to know that, like, obviously something's going on. And however, again, I also believe that some of this technology is ours. And
oh, yeah, of course.
I think that if we do go to a full-scale world war, we're going to see some stuff that we didn't know existed. And that's part of the reason. So that does bring up a good point about Israel and stuff. So there's actually alternative theories about why they're so obsessed with that area. So when the Anunnaki said to have landed, that is where they made like the first cities. That is where they had or apparently stored their advanced technology, is in that area. The Gaza Strip or whatever is said to be the land of the gods. It was off limits to humans. So there could be a whole lot more going on there than we know about. You know what I mean? There's talking about when we invaded Iraq, it was to get the was it the resting place of Gilgamesh? You know, the Anunnaki hero or whatever. He's not a. I don't know if he's Anunnaki hero, but he's. If you would read the Epic of Gilgamesh, you would understand. But he was said to be like half god, half human. He was like 13 feet tall. Like they showed depictions of him with a lion in his arm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like how big you got to be to have a lion in your arm looking like a cat. You know, like.
Pretty
But that's
big.
part of the other thing. Like, I almost choose to believe that over the ridiculous idea that they're fighting over this for religious beliefs. It's like, you know, and why is the U.S. so very interested in that? You know what I mean? Like, why are we so heavily interested in it? You know, it's the regular story has never added up for me, but I don't know. I tend
Well, they want the technology so they can, what do you call it, retrofit it or reverse engineer it. That's the word.
We've probably already been doing that, bro. They, I mean,
Oh, they
honestly,
have. But they want
like,
more.
I think we're about to see some crazy stuff. That's all I gotta say. When we blow ourselves up here, they're probably already out in space. You know what I mean?
Oh, no doubt. And it makes you wonder if there is a mass landing. Is it us pretending to be aliens or is it actually them? We don't know.
Dude, have you seen that movie? What was it, dude? Where it ended up being synthetic humans on the ground, and the people that invaded that come in these big spacesuits, but they're actually the humans that live there. Anyway, I don't remember what it's called, but
I don't think I've
there's a
seen
movie
that.
where it's like an alien invasion, but it's actually humans invading back to the Earth, trying to take the Earth back. Interesting. But a simulated alien invasion would be probably something I think would happen. I don't know. We were the aliens.
Bring this all together.
Dude, I actually believe that we are. So if you look at humans, like we're an invasive species. Look up an invasive species and you see like that's how we function on this planet. It's like we weren't naturally evolved here. And that's why I always go back to the creation stories. Like there's a lot of weight in the idea that we were created not naturally. You know what I mean? There is obviously signs of evolution on this planet, but it does not fit us. It doesn't explain the sudden evolutionary jump we took. It doesn't explain how we are suddenly able to use tools, suddenly able to use farming. It's like, who, you know, where did that come from? Who taught us that? Who taught us war? Who taught us slavery? You know what I mean? Where did we get the idea to just enslave other beings? You know what I mean? Like, where did it come from?
How far our technology's jumped? Like back in the 40s and 50s, a computer took up an entire warehouse, and now you can fit it inside this little box right here. That's like what, 60 years, 70 years,
dude. And a lot of this tech, you know, exploded right after like the Roswell crash or whatever. So they say that a lot of the technology we use today has been from reverse engineering, like aircraft, spacecraft.
The silicone chips, microprocessors. It's all
I
reverse
believe it, dude. With
engineered.
how quick or how fast technology has jumped, it's wild.
That's like, what we know of.
It's going to be unrecognizable soon. Like, you know what I mean? If you went back in time with some of this tech, people would think you were magic too. You know what I mean? But, or gods, if you will.
Imagine going back to the 1800s and bringing up a YouTube video on your phone and showing it to these guys.
And seriously, think about if you were from a planet that was bigger than this, right? So you were used to heavy gravity. You were 14 feet tall. If you came to Earth with lesser gravity, you would probably have tremendous godlike strength. You know what I mean? So like these stories start to make interesting sense when you look at them from a perspective like, hey, yeah, they came here from a different planet. Like, you know, have you seen the movie John Carter, right? He went to Mars and he was like super duper strong. Would that happen if we went to Mars? Would you be able to like lift giant boulders? Would you be able to do that? Like, I'm genuinely curious. Like when I think about that, like going to the moon, like you probably would be able to lift huge, heavy things, right?
Well, it's like when you're underwater, you can pick heavier stuff up.
That's interesting stuff, man. I want to go to Mars and like jump around and be a god like that. And I don't know. I'm still in my freaking work pants, dude. I've been like, that's how my day has been. I'm still in work clothes, sir. All I did was change my shirt. Struggle is real.
Struggle is real. It's a real pain in the ass.
These ridiculous pinstripe pants.
I don't have those anymore. I wear the cargos.
I do. I ordered the wrong ones, and now these are the ones I have. So
Shame.
I don't know. Oh well.
I just look forward to the day I could take them off for the last time.
One of these days, sir. One of these days. Like, I don't know. I'm trying my dangest to do as many like short videos as I can and see if I can. I mean, my follower account on TikTok keeps going up, but not my follower account on YouTube. So I'm not sure why.
YouTube is hard, man. Like I hit these plateaus. The only reason I have so many subscribers is because on my Facebook groups, they're not dedicated people. They don't watch my videos. So I still have no views. I have no likes or comments. I just have the subscriber count. So my subscribers aren't dedicated. They're not authentic. I mean, they're there, but they don't promote me or watch my stuff.
I thought about it, bro. I might try one of these. I have enough money. I could try one of these freaking AI subscription things that goes out and gets you subscriptions. But I don't know. It might be interesting to try. If it doesn't nuke my account, I'll do it for yours too.
That's the challenge, because their user agreements are really weird when it comes to stuff like that, especially YouTube.
Right.
One of your accounts deactivated, and like, oh, what the hell? Like, I've actually lost a few subscribers recently.
Really? I think it's bound
like,
to happen here and there, man.
5 views on it.
It's a hard game, but it's fun to do. Like, it's just fun to make the videos. It's fun to make it be an outlet. Like, trying to not put anything attached to it. You know what I mean? I would obviously like to do something different than I'm doing, but at some point, it's just a chapter, man. Everything going on in your life is just a chapter. That's really all it is. It's one day you're gonna look back and be like, oh, okay, this is a chapter I did this. This is a chapter I did that. Like, I'm not one I'm not gonna suffer in my job forever. You know what I mean? Like, once I'm out of the place that I'm in, like, I don't know if I'm gonna stay there forever, because it's really not the best for my mental health. You know what I mean? But
you're doing better than I am, and I trained you, and you've already surpassed me.
I'm only doing better, sir, because I'm in logistics and not on the floor. Because if I was on the floor, I was suffering greatly. Like,
but you've been promoted though too.
It was not good. I'm not demoted. I still got my leadership stuff.
That's what I said. You got promoted. You're above me now.
That shit sucks.
I'm unpromotable at my job.
Sucks. It's weak.
My 7-year anniversary is coming up, and I got nothing to show for it. Nothing.
Like, now they've made it to where everybody's half band anyway. Anyway.
Does it matter?
I don't know.
Still just a TSO.
I guess realistically, I can go to the floor and do almost nothing, but
not me. When I'm acting lead, I'm in rotation.
Yeah.
On a good day, we got 9 people in rotation.
That's stupid. That's not enough, dude. That's not enough people at all.
The other day we had 5. That's our outs? Not even that. Everybody's on leave, call outs, days off, and it just adds up. Our average is 9.
It's not enough people, dude.
Oh, I know.
1 lane or 2 lanes?
Oh, we can only do 1.
1?
We can only do 1. We're not enough for 2.
That's barely enough, yeah. But
only morning shift has enough for 2 lanes.
All right, so I think I'm gonna jump off here. I'm getting really tired, and I really gotta pee, bro.
Yeah, it's been about an hour. Surprised I made it this long. Don't do that. All right, we'll catch you next time then.
All right, my friend. You guys have a good one. Thanks for watching, Beth.
See you later. All right, Beth, we're gonna head out. All right, we're gonna wrap up tonight while I'm still connected before I get disconnected. Yeah, morale's been kind of low. Struggle's been real. The energy levels have been draining. I'm going to try and keep pushing as long as I can stay connected to the internet. And hopefully next week we'll keep going on and we'll let you know what that show will be about. Catch you then. Good night.